This is not my normal look. I could get away with that though. It's so interesting about this sweater, this hoodie that my friend Mircea Surdu gave me. It's so stretchy. Like, it is made out of some awesome stretchy material. My little boy loves to grab these and chase me around like that. Or who chases who around? Like I said, Mircea gave me this hoodie. Check it out. It's got the Telefilm logo. And that was totally nice of him because I actually offered to buy it when I was in Moldova, and then he showed up at my house when I had him over for dinner. Not only did I get a hoodie, but they gave some apparel to my wife as well. All right, enough talking about Moldova. Let's move on to other things. Just kidding. This is the last vlog that I'm making from my first 2-week trip to Moldova. While we were there, we filmed the first 5 episodes, and the format is actually gonna go like this. I go there, we film a little bit, they come here to America, film a little bit, and they piece the story together, and from that they make a documentary series. And that's exciting. So yet again, out here in Moldova, check out this hill. So let me tell you, I got to know a friend who introduced me to a friend. One opportunity led to another, and I find myself consulting, just pro bono, sharing some ideas about how the U.S. Embassy in Moldova can make the most of their investment for a docuseries about this partnership. After discussing the grant and after talking with various people at the Secretary of State's office in North Carolina, I eventually received an email. And that email proposed that I be the partner for the team Telefilm Chisinau in Moldova. Ooh, the bison, the animal on the flag of Moldova. But honestly, I loved Moldova. When I was there, I got to see all these really interesting sights, from the buffalo on the border of Romania over to the fortress on the border of Ukraine. Check out this place. One of the only castles, fortresses in Moldova, right here on the Ukraine border. And look at this lovely fog. Can you believe it? Oh, it's beautiful. It's ridiculous. Wow. I'll take it. I want to live here. Check this place out. I mean, I could live up there, and Ether's room could be right there, and we could have our entertainment area right there where the theater would be. My office could be, obviously, in this dark dungeon. I remember going out to the West Coast, in Utah when I first went to school, and I saw this old antique house where my wife and I had one of our receptions to get together with friends after we got married in 2007. And the house had like the exact same fixtures as my grandmother's house in Pennsylvania. So that's about as old as it would get. But on the East Coast of the United States, there is nothing to compare with the kind of ancient places that you see in this part of the world. There's our buddies down there. And what's up here? Oh, we can come check it out. Whoa, almost. So what's the story? The story is I was asked to partner with a production company to make a documentary series, and not only be a part of the series, they asked me to co-host, be a part of the television show, experience life in Moldova. Not just the food, but the people and the various different activities that the North Carolina-Moldovan partnership has done to benefit them. The truth is, I've seen some really beautiful places here, and this has only made me more and more excited, made me want to come back and visit. People by far were the most interesting part of this documentary experience. It's when you really gain connections with people, when you really learn to love people and get to know all kinds of different people outside of your typical sphere, the natural one that forms around you. Your opportunities explode. Roman and I are just following a little monkey child up a tree. We're here at this little school, and I had such a cute and adorable experience. I get to make an origami flower that I always make and give it to someone, They're looking out the window over there, yelling at me, laughing. But I got to receive 2 flowers they were making at the arts and crafts area. Yeah, I got to play a little bit of soccer, got to dance a little bit in the gym. So many of them are interested, shy. Some of them know a little bit of English and are a little scared to speak. It's been such a good experience. I mean, yes, I had met gypsies back when I lived in Latvia and Lithuania and Finland, and you know, they're usually a lot the same in a lot of these countries and cultures. Their culture remains rather similar and consistent throughout. But this was a really fascinating thing. There was a village, a town, of all these wildly good-looking buildings. Look at their lovely buildings that they've created. It doesn't really look like a lot of them are inhabited at the moment, but I mean, check these out. They're massive, interesting buildings, the kind of stuff that you really would rarely ever, or if ever, see when you're in a little country like this. Come check these out over here. Look at these! Look how huge and interesting they are. But oddly enough, it feels completely abandoned. Check this out. So I'm just checking out some of these interesting buildings here, and I see, wow, we are way far, way high up here. Look at this place. This is so neat. And wow, when we were over here, when I saw this, Leonid looks at me and says, "That's Ukraine." Check out this little place right here. This is where the leader of the Gypsies of Moldova lives. I love it. And then over here, another interesting building. This is really wild. But you know, when I think of Gypsies, I think they don't have leaders. Whoa, look what I almost fell into. That was crazy. Watch out for that one, guys. But when I think of Gypsies, I don't think leader. If I heard of a people that were leaderless, I would call them gypsies, you know? It just does not compute that they have a leader. Very interesting. Oh, here's more. Oh, so it looks like the famous Bolshoi Theater in Moscow. Check this place out. Whoa, horses. Fancy gate. White dog. It's got everything. Oh, look at this. What a neat place. Ukraine. There's Ukraine. And trash. And I think those are gypsies just about to dump trash over the hill. Yep. There it goes. That's pretty neat. Gypsy land. So Eugen over here was someone that actually made a documentary showing the reality of the gypsy life and lifestyle. He said a lot of people don't exactly have favorable views on gypsies, so they wanted to show something a lot more real, not just the stereotypes that people typically live with. And he just explained that their style of these houses, made with really rich materials, real expensive things, but the taste in design is rather lacking. The word he used was kitsch. Really kitschy design taste. This perfect mixture of beautiful and ugly. Check this place out. Whoa. So fascinating. I have no idea what country I'm in right now. Как зовут собаку? What's his name?
Цыганская овчарка. Gypsy dog.
Gypsy dog.
Some people here put the
They
gold
change.
teeth.
Oh, they want to take out their teeth and put gold teeth in?
They put gold teeth to dogs.
Oh, they put it in dogs?
Yes.
They put gold teeth in dogs? There was no amount of filming with my phone that I could have captured the feeling and what the surroundings were actually like in this village. Now, one of the features of this community center is going to be a community bath, shower, where people who, in this little village and neighboring villages, they don't have access to such a thing in their own home. They could come here and get a shower. And all this because of generous donations from individuals and people who have fundraised for Moldova in various ways. the building that's being renovated right behind me there. There's this little playground area, and right here, this former monument was a monument to Lenin. And I was just told by the river, there is Lenin. He's swimming, she said, in the river. And so we're gonna go and try to see if we can see Lenin. The water may be a little bit too high for us to see, but we're gonna try to take a peek. Well, sadly, Lenin is not visible from here. He's somewhere right over in this area. Why won't the drones be flying today? Bad weather? This looks like great weather! I can't say enough good things about the people that I met in Moldova, and I do need to really point out some amazing talent and amazing work ethic that I saw in the team at Telefilm. Starting with Mircea Surdu, I have to say this man is not only a veteran and shows in his experience, but he is such a casual, charismatic speaker. Even though I couldn't understand the majority of the details of what he was saying, I picked up a few words that helped me understand the direction conversation was going, and a lot of the body language throughout these cultures in Europe are fairly similar, so I was able to pick up on a lot of things just based on that alone. But one of the coolest things that I was able to see was watch someone, a guard, look very stern and speak to us in a certain tone of voice and talk to us about what we were and weren't allowed to do. And there was this almost awkward moment of silence when Mircea Surdu sort of shrugs and says something kind of funny, and everyone laughs, the whole attitude changed, and they just let us through. He was such a kind and good-hearted person. I just only wish that we could have spoken either language a little bit better. Fortunately, we're gonna keep practicing and we're gonna get to know each other for the next couple of trips. And speaking of good people at Telefilm Chisinau, Leonid Melnik is one of my best friends now. You can tell it in the way he talks to people. You can tell how sincere he is, the way he looks, the way he jokes with me. It's so fantastic. At one point we were talking to these two young ladies who had been in this foster home and now had their own families. And it was sort of this awkward situation where we kind of didn't know what to have them do. We were just having them do their own thing, getting some stuff prepared in the kitchen. One thing led to another, and Leonid had them open up and they both began crying. And it was one of the most moving moments. Again, even though I couldn't understand very much of what was happening, I could tell that the patience and the way Leonid was able to speak with them and have a conversation instead of just sit them down for an interview, it really changed everything. Dinosaurs! Production crew, Eugen and Roma. And also someone that I have neglected because she actually speaks very, very little English. Diana is the lady that you see hidden in the background in a couple of shots. She is this super sweet, tiny little lady that is really, really diligent and has worked with the whole team for such a long period of time. She worked in broadcast, now she gets to work on this documentary team. I will never forget the way I said goodbye in Moldova to Diana, leaning out of the van to give her a hug goodbye, and she held on to me really tight. And that sincerity is something that I saw all the way through until I left. Even when I was at the airport, when I was walking towards security, they wanted to wait with me there, standing outside of the gate so that they could wave goodbye. It was like the most kind moment I've ever experienced. They are such good people. Yes, indeed, I am a huge fan of Moldova at this point, and I cannot wait to go back. I cannot wait to continue my conversations with them. If you're patient enough to stick with me during this first trip to Moldova series of vlogs that I made, stay tuned, subscribe, comment below, ask me some questions. I would love to tell you more about it. The background and how I found opportunities like these and others I will absolutely share with you, and I can't wait to find more and to be able to reveal even more tips and tricks that would be helpful for you and to anyone else out there in a creative industry. Thank you for watching. That's all I got this week.